Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and take pass less from the kickoff to the final whistles blow. We'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With the laugh and the cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll wait to roll, from sideline jokes to post-match tales. All big goofs and their big
World of
fails.
sports, hey?
We're not so serious, and that's
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
it's all about the laughs.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along
And we are officially live everywhere.
where the banter's always fresh.
This is pretty cool, I gotta say. Ahoy there, everyone. Welcome along to the Wasted World of Sports coverage of the NRL Preliminary Final between the Melbourne Storm and the Sydney Roosters. Hope you're as excited as I am for this one. It should be a cracking game. We are live on YouTube. We're live kind of properly on TikTok as well, by the way. And what I mean by properly live is it's not just anymore. No longer is the TikTok stream just my phone pointed at the computer screen. We have actually been granted live access to the proper live studio. So I'm hoping that somebody in the chat room over there on TikTok can let me know if you're hearing me all loud and clear, because I'm using a second microphone. It's the resurrection of the, well, we know what we call this one. The resurrection of the old microphone, ready to be used for TikTok. Ahoy over there, TikTokers that are joining in. Very nice to have you all over there. Our first ever stream from the proper TikTok live studio. Anyway, my primary focus, of course, is the YouTube stream. I still haven't got it all set up properly, so I can't see the TikTok chats as easily as I can the YouTube chats. And of course, we're live on Facebook. Well, I better make sure we have actually gone live on Facebook. No, we haven't yet. Okay. I've just been rambling on, and the Facebook people are missing everything in the pregame. Those poor people. Just another human. Ahoy there. How are we doing? Michelle, ahoy. Gamer Boy 210, ahoy. Welcome along. Gamer Mel, of course. Gamer Mel must be completely freaking it at the moment, I've got to say, because I'll get into a little bit of the pre-game. We've got about, what have we got? We've still got about 20 or so minutes till kickoff. 14 or so minutes now until kickoff. Saki Manson, ahoy there. Any relation to Marilyn by any chance? Dan Jam, ahoy mate. How are you doing? Dan Jam, I'm going to do my absolute best to get myself up in the morning, me being from Australia, of course. The Betfred Super League finals are on, but they're on at an absolute ungodly hour. But I'm going to try my best to get up there. Gamana B2, ahoy there. Welcome along. Jeffrey Wang says, go the Chooks. Rao Henry. Fiona Mennicut. Fiona Mennicut asks what the score is. Well, it's 0-0 at the moment, I suppose, technically. XJC, ahoy, buddy. Mitchell Vela Sport. Who do you think will be the new coach for the Broncos next year? Hopefully not Madge Maguire. I hope they leave Madge alone. Coach the Blues. The James, ahoy. All right, I think I've got all the way back to the top of the chat room. Welcome along, everybody. Jazzbeer, ahoy. Flurry, ahoy there. Jim Condon, ahoy from Grafton. Very nice. The Waste of Water Sports poll that started 6 hours ago has had 141 votes. 60% are on the Storm. 40% have gone for the Roosters. And I've got to tell you, now I have tipped the Storm, but I am just ever so slightly leaning towards the Roosters to spring an ambush and cause an upset in this one. I just got this feeling. All week long, I've had this feeling we could be in for a little bit of a surprise. That said, I do think there are a couple of dead set certainties in this one. And I reckon that will be Xavier Coates, anytime try scorer, and Daniel Tupou, anytime try scorer. And I've basically just built a same-game multi around that. Connor Crowley asks what time kickoff is. Kickoff is in about 12 minutes, roughly, give or take. All right, I'm going to have a quick look over here on the TikTok chat room. NRL, Zach Lomax, who do you want to win? Who do I want to win? Honestly, it doesn't really bother me. If I can be a little selfish, NRL Zach Lomax on TikTok. If I can be just a little bit selfish, I go for the Sharks. Should the Sharks happen to spring an upset tomorrow, somehow, if somehow that happens, a little bit of the selfish side of me would much rather be facing the Roosters in the grand final than the Melbourne Storm. So, I guess, whilst I don't really care from that selfish perspective, I would have to say I would want the Roosters to win. Just on the off chance that the Sharks somehow get the job done tomorrow. Problem is, if the Sharks do get the job done tomorrow somehow, I think that'll be their grand final. They will have to play so above themselves to beat the Panthers that they won't have anything left in the tank for the following week. But anyway, I hope that that's not the case, but I think that will be the case. Back to this game, though. Storm and the Roosters. I just think the Roosters will be coming into this game with absolutely nothing to lose. Now, I know that I've said multiple times throughout the course of the year that I really don't like that phrase, nothing to lose. Of course, there's something to lose. They're going to get knocked out of the comp if they lose. But I understand the sentiment of the saying. Let's just say I think the Roosters will have far less pressure on them because nobody really expects them to win this game. They are overwhelming underdogs with the bookies, and I just think that creates a little bit of expectation can create pressure, I suppose, is what I'm saying. And all the expectation is on the Storm tonight. They're at home. They're in sublime form. And the Roosters, they could spring an ambush here. I wouldn't at all be surprised if we see Golden Point. And I wouldn't at all be surprised if we saw the Roosters eke out a victory. Look, I've gone for the Storm. I've tipped the Storm. I as well expect the Storm to win. But there's just been this niggling little feeling in the back of my mind all week that even with the injuries to Sam Walker, to the Cheese, this is not a horrible Roosters team. And when you think about finals footy, you think about tightly contested, hard battles up front. And if you look up front, man for man, the Roosters in the forwards, whilst Melbourne have been doing a stellar job, don't get me wrong, they've still got an amazing forward pack themselves, but I just feel, man for man, especially with JWH back and with Victor Radley back, they're just a little bit better. Harry Grant is obviously better than Connor Watson. Nelson and Jared probably, if both play to their potential, they probably even each other out somewhat, yeah? Whoops. Sorry about that. I just whacked the TikTok microphone. Josh King versus Lindsay Collins. Well, I think it's safe to say Lindsay Collins wins that one. Sean Bloor and Angus Crichton. Angus is having a hell of a year. Tupanua and Katoa. If Tupanua is on form, if he has a good night, I would give the edge to the Roosters in that one. And Victor Radley, of course, over Trent Liero. Where the Roosters will struggle to keep up, though, is in the backs. Dominic Young has certainly not had the most stellar of seasons. Whilst he's been solid, he certainly hasn't gone on to the heights that we anticipated. Sandon Smith and Jerome Hughes, no contest. Jerome Hughes is going to be the Dally M Player of the Year, unless there is some ridiculous, just an absolute abomination of a decision like last year when Kalen Ponga got the nod. Somehow, Jerome Hughes will be the Dally M Player of the Year. So you've got to give the nod to the Storm there. Munster versus Carey. Carey's a very good player, but Cameron Munster in big games just goes next level. So, yeah, Xavier Coates versus Dom Young. As I said, Dom Young hasn't quite hit the same heights this year. Give the nod there to Xavier Coates. Nick Meaney and Joey Manu. Joey Manu obviously has the ability to be heads and shoulders above Nick Meaney, but he needs to stand up. We need, for the Roosters to win, Joey Manu needs to really step up and put his fingerprints all over this one. Swalihi and Howarth. Yeah, again, Swalihi, I think, has probably already got 1 foot out the door. Tupou and Warbrick. Well, Warbrick, he has been in outstanding form. Pappenhausen and Tedesco. It's, on current, very, very current form, you'd have to give the nod to Tedesco. But certainly in average form over the past couple of seasons, when Pappenhausen has been on the park, of course. Overall, you might just give him the nod, but it's pretty even there. If not, slightly in favour of Tedesco. So, pretty even game when you look at it on paper. I don't agree with the bookmakers who are just overwhelmingly favouring the Storm. I do think the Storm will obviously be the favourites to win. That we can't deny. I just think it's going to be a lot closer than that. The odds at the moment, and they're probably starting to even up a little bit as we get very, very close to kickoff. You normally start to see a little bit of money pour in on the outsiders, but Melbourne Storm, $1.28 to the Roosters, $3.45 for an outright victory. I think that is absolute madness. I really do. Absolute madness. This game, I do truly believe, will be a lot closer than we're expecting. Same game multi. I can show this over there for... I can show this over there for our YouTube folk. My same game multi, I've gone with Tupou and Coates. There goes my dog. I don't know what she has found out there to bark at, but whatever it is, she's enjoying it. Tupou and Coates. And I've gone for something a little left field here, expecting that it could be a very tightly fought contest. Look for the game to break open in the last 20 minutes, and that brings an interchange player into the equation. And the only interchange player that really leapt out at me as being a potential game breaker was Tyron Wishart. So I've thrown Wishart in there to boost up the odds. James, ahoy, how are you, mate? Michelle's in the chat, that's why Falcor is barking. I see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll now on YouTube. And it's supposed to put the results up for me to see. Why it's not doing that. James Barty says, greetings from Papua New Guinea, Port Moresby. Go Roosters. Cheers, James Barty. Welcome along. I tell you what, the people of Papua New Guinea must be getting pretty excited for the potential of a PNG team entering the competition. Must be very good. PNG, how many PNG folk have we got out there in the chat room? Show of hands. Show of virtual hands. Try scorers for TikTok. Try scorers are Daniel Tupou, Xavier Coates, and Tyron Wishart. Lynn Sawan, watching from PNG. Cheers, Lynn. That's my red hot tips, and I'll tell you why. If you have a look at, I don't think I've got the screen open anymore. Spinner Shark, ahoy mate, how are you going? 4 minutes, 7 seconds till kickoff. Oh, here comes Trent Robertson. Heading up to the coach's box. He's left the sheds. Figgy, ahoy there. Raising virtual hands for PNG. Benny2287 over there on TikTok has got Warbrick, Teddy, and Harry Grant. Very nice. I reckon Angus Crichton or Victor Radley as well. Potential try scorers for this one. Just quietly. Hello from Antarctica, Uncle Roscoe. No, you're not really my uncle. It's just... I sort of said that instinctively. There's a mate of mine, Roscoe. We used to call him Uncle Roscoe because he was sort of like the uncle of the band. Yankee, Kamtai. Ahoy there, welcome along. Now, for some reason, TikTok... Hello! What was all that? Now, you tell me, what was all that commotion out there, huh? What was all that commotion? I'm going out on a limb and suggesting it was nothing. That's just my... That's my guess. No, that was Dr. Roxo. Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown. And I'm pretty sure that he would get along well with certain NRL players. If you know, you know. Teddy leads the Roosters out onto the park. Let's get ready to go. I'm so excited. Now, for some reason, TikTok... I'm very new to TikTok, so I do apologize. I haven't quite got it all figured out yet. I can't seem to switch these scenes that I had set up for myself. Couldn't switch to a different aspect ratio during live or recording. Well, I don't know why it wants to. Anyway, I guess we're stuck with this. We might be stuck with this while until I get better at TikTok. Fingers crossed. Anyway, we've got a follower goal because I don't usually set goals and stuff like that. I just go live and whatever happens, happens. But TikTok was pretty determined to get me to set a follower goal. So I set it at 600. We're at 581. So cheers, all the TikTokers out there. Very much appreciate your company. As this game is ready to get underway, Melbourne Storm are out on the field. The Roosters are out on the field. Looks to be the Roosters who will be kicking off, but I've been wrong about that in the past. So excited for this game. Should be an absolute cracker. I've locked my tip in. My tip is Melbourne to win, but I back them with no confidence. Well, limited confidence. 4 seconds. And this preliminary final is go. And it is indeed the Roosters receiving the kickoff. And met with some very solid Storm defense first up. bringing it out off their own line. That is Lindsay Collins, who's been rocked backwards, and he's in a world of hurt here, Lindsay Collins. Don't tell me we are going to have another 30 seconds HIA penalty for high contact against you-know-who. It's Big Nelson. 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds in, 20 seconds in. And Nelson with a shoulder to the face. High contact. And he's on report here. For what it's worth, he might even be in the bin for 10 if the referees want to really assert their authority. And he is off for 10. Nelson has been marched for 10 minutes. This game is 20 seconds old. The first tackle of the game. And Nelson is off for 10 in the bin. Oh, I told you. I could smell an upset. Shoulder to the face, and the referee has made a statement very, very early on here. What an amazing start to this contest. Lindsay Collins is off for HIA. That could be Lindsay Collins' night done, incidentally. We've got to keep an eye on that. What a start to this match. Nelson off for the opening 10 minutes. Early advantage to the Roosters as JWH takes it up outside the 40. And another penalty. Back-to-back penalties now for the Roosters. And the referee is really laying down the gauntlet here and saying, here's the bar, do not go above it. And the Roosters are benefiting from this early penalty fest. 40 metres out from the Storm line with a full set of 6 incoming. What a start to this game. Back-to-back penalties for the Roosters has piggybacked them all the way upfield. And they're on the attack now. 30 out with Victor Radley, who charges up the middle. Golden opportunity for first point. Smith to Tedesco. Tupanua cuts back on the angle and goes inside the 20. Smith again runs to the line. Throws it out the back to nobody. But Swelly, he gets a kind bounce. Fends off one. Fends off Hughes. Still going Swelly. He 10 out from the line. 2 up their sleeve. Here's Keary. Chips in over the top, looking for Angus Crichton. Angus Crichton's been taken out in the kick chase, and they could be losing another one here, the Storm. If this is deemed a professional foul, we could have another 10 in the bin, but it doesn't look like he's going that far. It is another penalty to the Roosters, though. And Harry Grant is straight up to have a chat about that. Is Harry Grant the captain tonight? Yes, he is. Well, there you go. Harry Grant is the captain. Another penalty for the Roosters. 2.5 minutes gone. They could decide to take the 2 here, or they could keep the pressure on. I'm assuming that Flurry is talking about TikTok. TT. TT would be TikTok. Oh, they are lining up the 2 here, the Roosters. They just want to put some points on the board early. Trent Robinson's blown up in the coach's box. There would have been an argument there for another 10 in the bin, quite honestly. This is certainly not a gimme. There's 2 points, but he should put it over. And he does. Swelly, he puts it through. And the Roosters lead 2 points to 0. The Kings Gaming says, I hate both of these teams, but I'm going to watch this anyways. There you go. What a start this has been for the Roosters. 3 penalties in a row to piggyback them upfield. And, Lindsay Collins is out. Lindsay Collins has been ruled out 18 seconds into the preliminary final. And Lindsay Collins, his night is over. Well, you have to ask the question, when that happens, Nelson gets 10 in the bin, but he gets to come back. Zach Docker-Clay will be activated as the 18th man. It does raise that question again, doesn't it? The question obviously being all the talk about, is it really fair? A player gets scrubbed out of the game. Yes, he can get replaced by the 18th man in the act of foul play, but... interesting. It's a conversation for another time, though. Fifth and last here for the Roosters. And Carey from halfway puts the kick down, and here we go. Melbourne, with their first use of the ball, Coates is picked up and driven backwards. Flappy Bird arms everywhere from the Storm players. They want a penalty. The home crowd gets involved, trying to get a penalty as well. A chorus of boos. This is big defense from the Roosters. It's hard to believe 5.5 minutes into this game, and this is Melbourne's first touch of the footy. Fifth and last, and they have not made it to the halfway line. Big defense from the Roosters. Looking solid early on. Hughes gets the kick away. It'll be taken on the full. Tupou's under it, brings it back. Almost up to the 30, but he's driven back now. Closer to the 20-metre line. Their own side of halfway, the Roosters. Swalehi gets a wedgie, but he makes some meters. Gets a big wedgie. Jeez, that must have hurt. Tupanua. 4 minutes left in the bin for Big Nelson. Look at those buns. They were very firm, weren't they? Up over halfway now, Spencer Leniu, who is on the field. 40 out from the Storm line. Carey has to reach out in front of him for that pass. Gets the kick away. Angus Crichton puts pressure on Warbrick. Warbrick does well to take it. And Angus gives him a bit of a working over on the ground too. Very intense out there to start this one. Melbourne bring it out from their own end. Pappenhausen, nowhere to go. No meters gained. Wasted World of Sports bringing you this preliminary final on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok. Where else can we go live? Whoops, spilled my drink. Where else can we go live? I'm getting, what's the word? As Melbourne bring it up to their own 40 on the fifth and last. Hughes gets the kick away. It's been cleared for the late contact, and Teddy will take this on the full 30 out from the Roosters' own try line. Jeez, that would have been penalised all through the regular season, I've got to say. Now Dom Young gets on the outside into space. Well wrapped up and brought down, though, by Coates. Big Dom Young, he was almost through. From dummy half, a nice run up over halfway from Sandon Smith. Watson stays on the short side. Dummies. Dummies again. Watson gets the arms free for Victor Radley. Radley, a big don't argue on Pappenhausen. And he's taken down 12 out from the try line. Harry Grant claiming a dropped ball. Threatens to give away a 6 again. The Roosters are looking prime here. 5 out, fifth and last. Smith runs it to the line. Cut out pass for Swalehi. Swalehi onto Tupou. Tupou steps back inside Pappenhausen and scores the opening try of the match. And it is a tick off our multi. Daniel Tupou, Xavier Coates, and Tyron Wishart. That was my pre-game 3-leg multi. There's one. Done and dusted. Daniel Tupou scores in the corner, and the Roosters lead this 6-0, taking full advantage of Big Nelson being in the sin bin. It's one-way traffic at the moment. There's a long, long way to go in this one, of course, but I am now regretting my decision to not back my instincts. Sometimes you've just got to back your instincts. Anyway, look, there's still a long way to go for me to be proven wrong and for Melbourne to get themselves back into this. The YouTube chat room at the moment is all about Ryan Papenhuyzen being a bit tiny. But that's the nature of fullbacks at the moment, isn't it? There are some very, very tiny fullbacks running around across the teams. I mean, Will Kennedy for the Sharks is not a big man. Jaden Campbell, when he plays fullback, and even AJ Brimson when he's at the back. AJ Brimson's not a big guy. Reece Walsh is teeny tiny. He's a teeny tot. Little Princess Reese Weesey. Who else? Tiny fullbacks floating around at the moment. Quick, elusive fullbacks. Anyway, I reckon Papenhuyzen will be off to the Eels. There is no way in my mind that Melbourne prioritise re-signing Papenhuyzen over Stuart Fa'alongo. Swalihi from the sideline. It's on target. It hooks around and hits the upright and bounces away, thus negating the 2 points for the penalty earlier. Or maybe one way to look at it is it actually makes that 2-pointer very important, crucial, in fact. 10.5 minutes gone, and the Roosters lead this 6 points to 0. Nelson, when does he return from the bin? He's still got a couple of minutes left, I think. Sit out. There he is up on the sideline. He will be getting ready to come back on. 15 seconds he's got left. Victor Radley takes the kickoff. What an incredible start to this game. The Roosters have done what they need to do. As Nelson comes back on. Marley Prime says, will you be shocked if Storm and Panthers lose? Very shocked. I think there will be a lot of stunned mullets out there if that happens. A lot. Bo Unit, ahoy there. Fifth and last here for the Roosters. Still inside their own half. Sandon Smith gets a good kick away. And Xavier Coates returns it for the Storm. Howarth with nowhere to go down the short side. Up to the 40 they go. Here's Papenhuyzen. Papenhuyzen should not be... I mean, I appreciate the effort there from Papenhuyzen, but Papenhuyzen is not the type of fullback that's going to get you meters up the middle. And Nelson back on the field with his first hit up. He's revved up. And that's more like it. He's staying down too, Nelson. He's playing for the penalty. He might be playing for the send-off as well. Oh, no, he's clutching at his shin. He's clutching at his ankle. Somewhere he's clutching on his leg. Oh, because he's playing for a crusher. And fair enough, it is a crusher. It is the crusher of all crushers by Victor Radley. And the crowd will be baying for blood here. The hometown crowd will be calling for Victor Radley's head. He's on report, and he stays on the field. CMO102 Mario says, revenge! Michelle. Oh, by the way, Michelle... my often co-host is in the chat room tonight on YouTube, and I can see that her hatred of the Storm carries over into the chat room form as well. Jerome Hughes puts this into touch, and Melbourne can go on the attack. 20 metres out from the Roosters line, Munster taps to Harry Grant. Grant just shuffles it along to Josh King, and they set things up in midfield. 6 more tackles for what that's worth on play 1. Munster in at first receiver. Inside ball for King. King takes it up. Here's Nelson. His shin's okay. And Nelson draws in 3 defenders. Gets the offload. Back for Meaney. Meaney heads across field. And he's brought down a metre out from the line. Nick Meaney. Grant, short pass. Crash ball for Sean Blaw. 6 again. Oh, they must score here, the Storm. Munster out the back to Hughes. To Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen dummies. And Pappenhausen goes through to score. It's about to be 6-all. It has been 12 minutes of domination by the Roosters, and they are about to look up at the scoreboard and see it all locked up at 6-all. Ryan Pappenhausen ghosts his way through. And this is what we were talking about. The chat room before on YouTube opened up that he's not a big man, Pappenhausen. He's a very small guy, but he's fast and elusive. And he showed it there. That is the benefit that he brings to the team. Keary gets suckered in big time there. Sold the dummy. And he's pumped up Pappenhausen and the Storm, of course, because this was their first opportunity down the Roosters' end, and they've made it look easy. Carey was completely bamboozled there. That's all on him, I'm afraid. Carey overcommitted to the outside man. Angus Crichton had no chance. And the home crowd is very, very happy now. Nick Meaney from about 10 metres to the right of the post. Well, even further, about 15 or so out. Moves in, strikes this one well, puts it down the middle, and we are all locked up. DJ Shaq, ahoy mate. You just saw the start to the game. Nelson sent for a high tackle. Yes, indeed. It was a crazy start to the match, and Nelson sent off for 10, and then 3 penalties in a row for the Roosters. I'm really surprised they took the 2 in that situation. So early in the game, a man in the bin. I guess the idea would have been they were backing themselves to take the 2 points and then use the extra man advantage to get back down the other end, which ultimately is what happened. But and they ended up scoring a try from it, of course. But still, I would have thought in the game situation with so much time left. But anyway, it is what it is. Nelson takes the kickoff. And Melbourne, with a little bit of front foot ball now, they've had the last 5 sets of 6 in a row. They bring it outside their 20. Yes, Bledisloe Cup tomorrow here on the Wasted World of Sports. Penalty to the Storm. The momentum has completely swung in this game. And it's Big Jared who gives away the penalty around the ruck. Raises his hand to his teammates immediately in apology. This game really starting to even up. Hughes puts it into touch. 40 metres out from the Roosters line. Here they come again, the Storm. Eli Katoa. "30 metres out from the line. Liero in midfield. Grant scoops it up with one hand. Bellamy will be furious at that. Munster shows inside, goes outside, and here is Howarth trying to put a step on. They're over that far touchline. The Storm, 10 metres out. Grant in at first receiver. And Josh King with a settler up the middle. Gets the offload back to Harry Grant in space. Grant to Munster. Munster stands in contact. They're inside the 10 here. A couple of tackles left. Short side. Crash ball for Bloor. The rebound is what I'm trying to say, but I got a little tongue-tied. As Harry Grant on the wraparound put the kick through, they still had a tackle up their sleeve. Harry Grant will want that play over again. James, I was caught between... I was going to call the Harry Grant wraparound, but by the time I got to it, he'd put the kick in and it rebounded off one of the Roosters players. So I got caught in this awkward little warp between wraparound and rebound. And I didn't know which word to go with, so I just kind of shut down. I went offline for a second. Caught on a loop. Pappenhausen's dumped by Angus Crichton on the kick return. What a hit. Warbrick now with nowhere to go. The Roosters, I feel like they might have just realised they need to go up a gear here defensively, because the Storm are just rumbling all over the top of them at the moment. The arrow out the back to Hughes. Hughes runs to the line, off the hip to Katoa, stands in the tackle. Now he's pushed over, literally pushed over by Tupou. Hughes down the short side, steps inside Crichton, loses the ball forward, and that'll be a 0 tackle for the Roosters. Victor Radley collects the loose ball. Good defense from the Roosters. Jerome Hughes, though, starting to open up. He's starting to take the line on and try a few things. And that is a dead set signal that Melbourne momentum is going their way right at the moment. Another wedgie, this time for Joey Manu. He took a little bit of offense to that too, I think. Joseph Manu. That's a couple of wedgies now. I wouldn't at all be surprised if that's a tactic by the Storm. Numbers down the short side for the Roosters. Tapped on for Young. Young runs straight over the top of Grant, but Harry Grant, like a little gnat, holds onto his ankles and brings him down. It was almost on there. Fifth and last, Roosters. 40 out from the Storm line. That's a shocking pass. It's loose out the back. Manu has to race back for it. He beats Munster. Oh, but they've got a penalty. Lucky. Ruck interference. The Storm offside. They've dodged a bullet big time there, the Roosters. That was such poor service on the fifth and last. And yeah, Sean Bloor it was, just laying in the ruck. Nice touch finder by the Roosters, and they will have a full set of 6 now inside the Storm 20. Jared takes them on. Still 20 out. They go left for Keary. Back inside goes Lenu. Lenu takes on Harry Grant, and again Harry Grant, the little gnat, holds on to the ankles. Watson breaks away from dummy half, showing the ball everywhere. Has it knocked out by the Storm. It's play on. And Connor Watson, that's a big mistake on tackle 2. Melbourne back in possession and bringing it out from their own end. Opportunity lost there for the Roosters. Let's mark them, shall we? Let's put it on some sort of little timeline. Young Masonry says up the Waz. Certainly was not the Waz year, was it? Hughes up over halfway, goes on a run again. Starting to look very dangerous. The certain favourite for the Dally M Award. Kick in on tackle 4, behind the line, sits up for Tedesco. And Teddy's wrapped up, 10 metres out. Melbourne just starting to click into gear now. Kicking for the corners, keeping the Roosters pinned down. Big contact on Tupou. Just outside the 10 metres line. Bo Unit says, go the Tigers. Hey, I'm telling you, I bring this up every time I've got an opportunity. The Tigers are building one impressive squad. Next year might be a little bit too early, but I reckon in a couple of years, they will be well and truly off the bottom of the table and threatening finals footy. Pappenhausen Catches it on the full, offloads to Warbrick. Why wouldn't you? And big Will Warbrick goes straight up the middle. He's brought down just shy of the Storm's own 40-metre line. And now Coates goes on a good run. Like for like, Warbrick and Coates, aren't they? Coates a little better in the air, though, of course. Munster runs it up to the 40. The Melbourne halves are starting to get very heavily involved. Meaney from dummy half. Tackle 4 now. 30 metres out. Munster onto Liero. Out the back to Hughes. Pappenhausen in the line. Inside ball for Nelson. Nelson bumps off one. Takes some extra metres. Offloads. Back for Harry Grant. Now Hughes in midfield. Onto Munster. The big names are starting to interject themselves here. And Munster just sets things up in midfield on the 5th and last. 20 metres out from the line. Left to Hughes. Puts the ball high. Contestable here for Coates. Coates knocks it back for Meaney. Play on. Meaney kicks into the end goal. And it's Terrell May is back there. And he is wrapped up by 1, 2, 3, 4 Melbourne Storm defenders. No support from his own team. Not that I would suggest offloading anyway. And May cannot get it back into the field of play. And we all get a little bit of a timeout. Goal line dropout incoming here from the Roosters. 22 minutes gone, 6-all. Here on the Waste of World of Sports, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on TikTok, as the Roosters go short-ish. And it's been knocked on by the Roosters. They're told that they can challenge it if they like, but I would advise against it. I would certainly be advising against challenging that one. Yeah, so we're still very new to TikTok over there. And for some reason, it won't let me change scene. Like, I set everything up on the live studio into scenes, and it won't let me change scenes during the live feed. I don't quite understand why. Melbourne win the scrum. They attack left. With Howarth inside the 10 on the attack they go. Here's Josh King. Gets the offload. Back for Harry Grant. And it's loose. Grant just has to dive on it and surrender. But still, they've got to wrap up that ball here, the Roosters. Nelson. A couple of metres out from the try line. Hughes dances around, offloads, and bobbled by Katoa, but he does well to hold on. Still 10 metres out here, the Storm. In midfield, Grant goes left to Munster. King is running off his hip. 5th and last. Munster and Hughes out on this right-hand side. Here they go. Munster dummies the kick. Goes on his own. Well, he got all tangled up there, Munster. And that'll be a handover. A couple of metres out from the line, but the Roosters, they swarmed Munster and Hughes there. And they made sure that there was no real legitimate 5th tackle option. Good work there from the Roosters defensively, but they're still pinned down their own end. It was 12 minutes of domination by the Roosters, but the following 12 minutes has been dominated by the Storm. We're all locked up at 6-all, which I think is a very fair reflection of how this game's gone so far. Roosters now outside their own 30. Just Another Human says pretty ordinary all round for a final. I would have said the complete opposite, Just Another Human. This has been a fantastic game so far. Michelle B, ahoy there. You go for Para as Keary gets the kick away. Taken on the full by Warbrick at the back. Warbrick steps away from the defence. Beats Radley. Goes up the middle. Warbrick puts the step on Connor Watson. And that is a great kick return from Will Warbrick, almost up to halfway. And great field position now for Melbourne. Will Warbrick. Is that a little moment right there? Will Warbrick's kick return was more than on point. Liero to Hughes. Out the back to Pappenhausen. Puts the afterburners on. Inside ball for Nick Meaney. Has Jerome Hughes in support. And it is a golden touch there from Pappenhausen. And Jerome Hughes scores under the post. 10 points to 6, the kick to come. And Melbourne. That was slick. That was very, very slick maneuvering there. Good hands from the back line. And Jerome Hughes scores under the posts. The James says, would you have Warbrick in the Australia team? Well, I mean, if he was Australian, I would. But since he's a Kiwi, I'd have him in the Kiwis team. I'd pick Will Warbrick for the Kiwis in a heartbeat. Nice work there, Pappenhausen. Again, just absolutely skinning Keary on the outside. And that is the second time that Pappenhausen's got one over Keary. That was his man. There is a big mismatch there. Pappenhausen versus Keary. From right in front of the post, Nick Meaney puts it over to make it 12 points to 6 in favour of the Melbourne Storm. 1.2 metres forward, says Bo Unit. "12 points to 6. Jerome Hughes and Ryan Pappenhausen. Geez, if you had Jerome Hughes, Ryan Pappenhausen, and Daniel Tupou in a same-game multi, you'd be laughing right about now. It wouldn't pay very much, but still, a win's a win, and you'd be laughing. Back underway, 27 and a half minutes gone, 12 points to 6. Storm over the Roosters. Alan Calatoni, who scored the try for the Roosters? It was Daniel Tupou. 20 out from their own line now, the Storm. Who the hell's that? Oh, it's old McDonald. Brings it out to the 30. Munster onto Blore. Blore dummies outside. Decides to go into contact on his own. Grant with the one-handed scoop up again to Munster. Down the short side. Munster pokes his nose through, offloads to Pappenhausen. Forward, says the referee. Forward pass on halfway from Munster back to Pappenhausen. Jeez, I don't know about that. That was less forward than the one that was a try just before. But anyway, it is what it is. And it's been called. Melbourne right on top at the moment. The Roosters just struggling to keep up. They win the scrum, as you would expect, because scrums in league are not exactly a contest. And Swalehi takes it up just over the halfway line. Bradley in at first receiver, on to big Nafa'u White. Roosters inside Storm territory. Tupanua takes them on. Looks to get the arm free. Tackle 3. 35 out from the Storm line. Smith to Keary. Hot pass for Angus Crichton. Well tackled by Jerome Hughes. Staying on this left-hand edge. Keary to Swalehi. Fires it back in field to Tedesco. Tedesco swivels away from old McDonald, but he comes back at him and brings him down. 5th and last. 22 out from the line. Smith in midfield. Puts it high. It's not really contestable, and it's been taken by Xavier Coates in the end goal area. 7 tackle set for the Storm. They got that horribly wrong. And now Pappenhausen goes straight up the middle. There's nobody in front of him, but look at Dom Young charge him down. He offloads for Howarth. Howarth puts the goose step on Young, and Howarth scores in the corner. And Melbourne are running away with this now. They've gone the length of the field on the 7 tackle set. Pappenhausen straight up the middle. Didn't have the pace. Dominic Young got back at him. He got those big giraffe legs pumping, and he ran down Pappenhausen. But who was there in support? Jack Howarth. And Howarth, with the almighty goose step, completely bamboozled the big guy. Well, geez, that's... well, first of all, that is not a 7 tackle set. Oh, hang on. You've just got... do you have to have your foot on the line or behind it? I think he had it on the line. And anyway, regardless of that, this should never have happened. This should never have happened. Straight up the middle went Pappenhausen, who's having a blinder. Well supported by Howarth. You thought for all money Dom Young had him. But the cheeky little goose step was enough to get the job done. 16 points to 6. The conversions come from out wide. And I don't know what that signal is from the touchy, but it looked very sus. Very sus. Whoa, God, what is this? Inactivity detected. Ah. Oh, yeah. TikTok likes to do this thing where they're like, prove that you're still alive. I don't really know why, because it's like, I'm live at the moment. So it's sort of, you kind of like, just leave me be, in a way. Obviously, as the conversion attempt from out wide is unsuccessful. Yeah, so it's kind of like you're streaming, so don't know why it does that. But every so often it pops up and it's like, you're inactive on your live studio feed. Like, well, of course I am, because I'm streaming. It was like Austin Powers getting a phone call. Oh God, I've been meaning to watch the Austin Powers movies again. What was his name? Basil? No, hang on, was it Basil? Might have been. I don't know. Flurry says, if you want a zillion on TikTok, put Wade Wilson in the title. Okay, I don't know what a Wade Wilson is or why that's a thing that would attract viewers, but thank you for the heads up, Flurry. I don't understand TikTok at all. Penalty now to the Storm. On their own 40-metre line, this game, after the opening 12 minutes, has completely swung on its head. And it has been all Melbourne Storm. Hughes puts this into touch. And more defense incoming for the Roosters. Marco Kelly asks if the Roosters can come back. If they can hold on till half-time, with no more damage being done, it's only 10 points. We know that 10 points is not a lot in a game of rugby league. But if it starts to blow out a little bit beyond, Karma Chameleon straight up the middle. That was dangerous. Big, fresh legs of Karma Chameleon. Fifth and last here. They're inside the 10. Hughes puts the grubber kick in. It's almost plucked out of the air by Keary. He spills it back. And luckily for the Roosters, Terrell May's there. And they get a penalty. What a very relieving penalty this is for the Roosters. They needed that. The kick to touch, not a lot of distance on it. Wow. Yeah, the opening 12 minutes was all Roosters. They started so well. Obviously, Nelson was in the sin bin for that opening 10. But then it's been all Melbourne ever since. Here's Angus Crichton now. Up over halfway. Looks to offload. Brought down on tackle 3. Watson onto Tedesco in at first receiver. That's a worrying sign. Big defense jamming in there with Xavier Coates. Had to make the hit on Tupanua because the Roosters had about 3 unmarked outside him. Butcher, who's on the field now, will take tackle 5. 30 metres out from the Storm line. Short side to Keary to put it high. Contestable kick. Harry Grant runs an escort. It's tapped back by Tedesco. Still fifth and last. Grant has the ball again. He's wrapped up and spills it. And it falls for the Melbourne Storm. Knocked on. Oh, they want the penalty for the escort to the Roosters. It's not incoming, though. God. Pappenhausen plays it. 30 out from their own line here. Let's see if... I've got to hop off for a second. Let's see if something happens. The kick through has been taken by Dominic Young back there to save the day for the Roosters, but they're still under the pump here. Samuel Gardner, ahoy mate. Oh, Swalihi comes up with a huge error. Swalihi spills the ball cold. Oh, my apologies, TikTok. I had to go have a whiz. Whiz. Does anyone still call it that anymore? Or just me? The TikTokers aren't used to me and my quick breaks. It's still very new. Swalihi has dropped it cold anyway. As we go back with our focus on the game. The Roosters running it out of territory, and Swalihi has dropped it 15 out from his own try line. Scrum down for the Storm. They break away down the right-hand side, and it's Katoa putting the fend on. A couple of metres out from the try line. Harry Grant, dummies, goes on his own. Had a little bit of white line fever there. Dummy half is Katoa, who just took the first hit up. They're a metre out now, Melbourne. Crucial little period of the game. Hughes to Munster. Munster dummies. And they were ready for that. 6 again. The tackle count restarts. There's 2 minutes to go till halftime. Critical that the Roosters hold on here. Hughes in midfield. Inside for Old McDonald. And he charges up the middle. Just a few metres short from the try line on play 2. Grant to Hughes, runs at pace. Jerome Hughes is over for another try as he breaks through. Please tell me that was not Keary. Luke Keary is being decimated out there tonight. Jerome Hughes now has taken him on. and he's found the gap in the defence. And that gap is the weak shoulder of Luke Keary. Angus Crichton was there. Angus holds on, but Keary fell off the tackle, and that was the difference there. I mean, look, Angus Crichton probably still should have held Jerome Hughes up. There is a mismatch in size there. But Keary, again, another missed tackle. And this could, honestly, could be signalling the end of a career. Luke Keary tonight has been completely outplayed. $20 points to 6, the kick to come. Jerome Hughes with a double. In the big games, in the big moments, the superstars of the sport step up. And this year's dead set certain Dally M Award winner has stepped up, and look at that sea of purple in support. Gamer Mel's probably in there somewhere. Oh, no, I forgot. She doesn't actually live in Melbourne. I forgot. Nick Meaney with the conversion attempt, about 10 to the right of the post. Puts it right down the middle, and Melbourne lead this 22 points to 6. And that is the halftime break. What a first half it has been for the Storm. Nelson was sent to the sin bin for 10 for high contact 20 seconds into the game. That allowed the Roosters to get an early head start. They dominated the opening 12 minutes. 6 points to 0, they led. But then Melbourne just got themselves back into the contest. Their first opportunity down the Roosters' end of the field. It brought a result, it brought a try. And that gave them the belief that I'm sure they had anyway. No doubt that this Melbourne Storm team had the belief. But scoring on your first set of 6 down the opposition end, it doesn't hurt, does it, in terms of belief that, as I said, I'm sure that they already had. But it certainly would have reinforced it. And they went, we've got this, we're all good. And they just rolled on with that first half. 22 points to 6. Mr. Ed's dead. Ahoy, mates. DJ Shack says Jerome Hughes, might as well give him the keys to the city. He will be the Dally M medalist for sure. But, yeah, I mean, look, then again, DJ Shack, I would like to think so. The thing that concerns me is, like, what happened last year, right? I mean, nobody in their right mind thinks for 1 second, surely, that Kalen Ponga was deserving winner of the Dally M last year. They pulled that one out of their collective anus. Neutralizer, ahoy! How are you, mate? Knee Crumbler, ahoy, buddy! How's everybody doing there in the YouTube chat room? Let's go and give some love to the TikTok chat room for a second, since we're brand new over there and everything. We got Mac Elliott's asked to have gone for. I don't really have a dog in the fight, so to speak. For this one, I had tipped the Storm, but I had also thought that the Roosters might be a cheeky little chance of an upset. Leah Palestina, Roosters, I hope, says Leah. Welcome along there, Leah. Judd1709 says, where'd you go, brother? Oh, no, he doesn't. He says, come on, Roosters. Nicholas77 asked where I went. So, yes, welcome along. TikTok, we're slowly but surely getting there with the TikTok live stream. It's a lot better than just my phone pointed at the screen. But I had all this different stuff set up. Like over on the YouTube live feed, you'll see I've got a same game multi on the screen. I've got these nice little graphics that pop up whenever somebody scores a try and stuff like that. And I had that all set up on TikTok as well. But for some reason, when I try to change the screens over to it, it doesn't want a bar of it. It doesn't let me switch over. It says whenever I try and change over to that screen, it says can't switch to a different aspect ratio scene during live or recording, which I can't understand. It's not a anyway. It's not a different aspect ratio, I would have thought. But anyway, not to worry. It's as I said, we might not have those fancy graphics on the screen for this one, but it's a lot better than the old just pointing the phone at the screen and hit and go live. Hopefully, yeah, the TikTok stream is a lot better this time around. So thank you over there, TikTok. Up the storms. There's dead sick. So the next thing I need to work on is having the TikTok chat room somewhere that's easily visible for me, like I have the YouTube. And poor old Facebook. Facebook Live gets absolutely no love. I don't even have the Facebook comment section open. So if you're over there on Facebook, Wasted World of Sports is live on YouTube, live on TikTok. YouTube is our primary, what do you call it? Our primary stream, our primary feed, I guess. It's over there on YouTube. If you would like to jump in on the conversation at a place where I actually see it. Gina Ferracini says, Storms. Stay Hunky says, don't do Facebook, Dan. Facebook sucks big time. I'll tell you what sucks big time, and I'm not ashamed to say it out loud. Twitch. You know, we actually got banned on Twitch for some reason. I really don't know why, and they have not been forthcoming at all with information as to why we got banned. But yes, Wasted World of Sports got banned on Twitch. Now, I know that it's not the drinking thing, because I've had my gaming channel, Intoxigamer, has been around for years. So it's certainly not the drinking aspect of the Wasted World of Sports. As I said, Intoxigamer never had an issue. For some reason, yeah, they just decided, nope, you're banned. I would like to appeal the ban. Appeal denied. Okay, well, I guess that's all for Twitch then. The Knee Crumbler says Twitch can be weirdos. Maybe I needed to stream in a hot tub wearing a bikini, and then I would have been right on Twitch. Maybe. We set a follower goal. I don't really like setting follower goals, but it wouldn't let me go live without one on TikTok. So we set a follower goal of 583 followers. So, cheers, TikTok, for jumping on board with the Wasted World of Sports. We've done like, four streams, I think, on TikTok. So, to almost be at 600 followers, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the platform. I don't understand TikTok in the slightest. I was just told that it would be a wise idea to multi-stream to it. So, anyway. Here I am. Kyan Tangaroa says, how's everyone doing today? Actually, no, first, Kyan said, how's everyone doing today? Well, we won't be doing any hose around here. Kyan then corrected and says, how's everyone doing today? We're doing very well, thank you. Kyan Tangaroa, still very new to this whole TikTok thing. Primary stream is over on YouTube, Wasted World of Sports on YouTube. For those who would like to check it out, we're also live on Facebook. But yes, as I said, primarily on YouTube. But still, look, if this TikTok thing works out, then I'll probably do it more often. Wasted World of Sports on all platforms. YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Outlaw 18. Outlaw 18 says, Twitch is poop. Kick is much better. You know, I've heard about Kick quite a few times. I've heard about Kick and said that I probably should investigate Kick. We do UFC, actually. Like, very honestly, it's very, very sporadic. We do some UFC. We do some WWE from time to time. But the other sports, it's mainly, I'll be completely honest. Complete honesty, it's mainly rugby league and rugby union. If I have time for the other stuff, then we chuck it in. So yes, we absolutely do some UFC and some wrestling just for a laugh from time to time. I mean, not the UFC. The UFC is not for a laugh. I mean, we do the wrestling from time to time for a laugh. Because I used to be a very, very big fan when I was little. So it's kind of like a nostalgia kick for me. But the UFC, I absolutely love. Mr. Ed's Dead says, first year watching you on Twitch, it was only your stream I'd watch. Then soon after, live stream Backyard Animal. Then I seen they have movies. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. Welcome along. Bobby Bronco says, do you do commentary in real life? Well, I mean, I think the question is, like, in real life, in, like, television or radio form. So the answer to that is no. Do I do commentary in real life? Well, I'm here and live right now, and I actually exist. So from that perspective, yes, I do. And that's what this channel is all about, is commentary. But yeah, do I do commentary in real life, like for an actual proper official media outlet? No. Because they couldn't handle me, is the thing. They couldn't handle me. I don't say like that is not a brag. I mean, that's just obviously when you watch TV and listen to the radio, like wherever you follow the game from, there's an agenda. There's a certain agenda. There's always somebody in the earpiece, right? The hosts have an earpiece. You can't always see it, but the hosts have got the earpiece in, and there will be a producer screaming at them, saying, get the plug in. You've got to plug KFC, or you've got to plug tomorrow night's broadcast, or you've got to let, what's on Channel 9? What shows are on Channel 9? You've got to let the viewers know that there's a new season of bloody Married at First Sight. I don't know what's on Channel 9. There's a new season of Maths. See, I couldn't do stuff like that. The Block. Thank you, Michelle. The Block. There's a new season of The Block starting next Wednesday. I couldn't do stuff like that, you see? So, yeah, I just wouldn't work on TV, I'm afraid. It just wouldn't happen. Too many agendas, and honestly, like, I would have to say, like, there's certain media darlings, right? There's players who are not anywhere near as good as they're made out to be because they're poster boys of the game, right? I would not be able to sit there and say, oh, such and such is so sensational. It's like, I've got to be honest. So I would be fired immediately when it's like, oh, Dan, what do you think about insert player name here? I don't know. What do you think about, let's say, Reece Walsh? What do you think about Reece Walsh and his brand new contract that he's agreed to with the Brisbane Broncos for almost $1 million? Well, actually, I think it is $1 million a season. I would be completely honest and I'd say, son of a bitch is not worth it. What a waste of money by the Broncos. I would be immediately kicked off the air. Anyway, I digress. Love at first sight. Love at first sight or married at first sight? Are we still talking about TV shows or I don't know. Halftime here. Melbourne Storm 22 points to 6 over the Sydney Roosters. I love that I've gone and said I couldn't handle having someone in my ear and screaming at me because I've got to do like promotion for all the upcoming things. So it's really weird that I will now leap into the fact and say, here on the Wasted World of Sports, we've got some games coming up. I will be doing my absolute best to be waking up at 4 a.m. my time to check out the Betfred Super League finals that are starting in the morning here, Australian time, about 4:30 in the morning. So I'll be doing my best to get up for that. We will be covering the Bledisloe Cup / Rugby Championship tomorrow afternoon. Wallabies taking on the All Blacks. And then, of course, obviously, we will be back tomorrow night for the second prelim, Penrith Panthers versus the Cronulla Sharks. My team, the Sharks, who I dare say are going to get absolutely obliterated by the Panthers. Hunklet on father says they should get a new fullback. $1 million for him is just wasteful. 100%. See, I'm not the only one. The Broncos will be in a big, what's the word? They'll be in a big, they'll have a big problem. Let me just put it another way. They will have a huge problem if they throw that amount of money at little Reese Weesey. Oh, I've just figured out that I can pop out the live chat. Oh, that's great. Okay, that is incredibly... That's a bit better for me, though. That is a little bit better. Okay, that's a bit better. I can see it a bit more there on the TikTok. What happened to Reece? Bronx at a massive rebuilding stage now? Well, certainly, because they've got rid of the coach. For those who are unaware, Kevy Walters has been punted from the Broncos. So they'll be on the hunt for a new coach. I suspect, I don't know this on any authority, but I suspect that they do already have somebody lined up. Because it just seemed like such a... It seemed like such a... just a snap decision. It seemed so out of the blue and so sudden. And I know that there's a long off season, like there's plenty of time to work it out, but I just don't think they would have made that call if they didn't have somebody lined up. Second half is underway here. The Roosters with the kickoff. In amongst all that, Spinner Shark asks if I'll be doing the AFL Grand Final tomorrow. No, because it clashes with the Bledisloe Cup. And I've got to say, I love my rugby way more than I care about AFL. That is just the way it is. Rugby, AFL. Second half underway, though. 30 seconds in. Melbourne bring it outside their own 30. 22 points to 6. They went into the sheds well and truly on top. MVP Edits has made a bold prediction here. Roosters to win 28-26. The kick down to Tupou, who takes it on the full. Brings it back to the 20. Roosters in possession. What they need the ball. Roosters outside the 30. Jamrock 99. Wherever Trent Barrett goes, the coach seems to get sacked. Well, that's an interesting little tidbit there. Jamrock, yes, Trent Barrett was just brought in as an assistant. There is a little bit of a conspiracy theory as the Roosters get the kick away here on halfway. Taken to the back by Coates. Returns it to the 20. Melbourne back in possession. But there is a little bit of a conspiracy theory there about Trent Barrett coming in. maybe, just maybe, they snuck Trent Barrett in as an assistant, but ultimately they had him earmarked to take over from the very beginning. There's not necessarily any truth behind that. It's just a conspiracy theory that's being floated around. Fifth and last here for the Storm. 30 out from the line. Munster kicks infield looking for Hughes. Hughes gets up and competes, loses it forward. Well, it's been called play on. It'll be looked at. The referee has played it safe and let this play on, but it looked like a clear knock on from Jerome Hughes. Sean Blaw's over the line, and he's put the ball down to score. The referee was ready to blow his whistle, but he held off and said, let's just watch this play out here. Jerome Hughes is onside. Clearly, it was kicked for Hughes by Munster. Well, the first infringement is Harry Grant being bumped off the ball. So either way, this is going to be a penalty to the Melbourne Storm. It's knocked on by Jerome Hughes, but there will be a penalty. Harry Grant was knocked off the ball. And this is a gift 2 points right out in front if they want it. And I dare say they might. It's a gift too. Or do they want to pile the pressure on Melbourne? I was giving it to the Roosters earlier for not taking the 2. For not keeping the pressure on and taking they do take the 2. It's a gift 2 points here. All right, let's go just to the left of the uprights for Nick Meaney to give the Storm a 24-6 lead. He puts it through. 24-6. Kyan says, as much as I'd love a Roosters upset, I don't think any other team would fare well against Penrith. And let's be honest, Melbourne versus Panthers grand final is very, very fitting. They've been clearly the two best teams all year long. It will be a blockbuster of a grand final, should it eventuate. 24-6, back in possession. Are the Melbourne Storm. Ike the Sir says Roosters are gone. He's calling time on the Roosters. Flurry's earbuds broke. Wonder what that's all about. Fifth and last here for Melbourne. 40 out from their own line. Hughes gets the kick away. Straight down the middle of the field. Tedesco's under it. Made it a lot more difficult than it needed to be, Teddy. In amongst all the wedgies tonight, Teddy's kept his pants on. Offload back for Watson. Watson's up over halfway. Butcher out to Smith, onto Tedesco. Manu, who's been very, very quiet. Joey Manu. They get a set restart here, the Roosters. Crucial that they are the next team to score. They're 30 metres out. Critical that they're next to score. Sandon Smith in midfield to White. "20 metres out from the line. 4 tackles left. Smith to Keary. Runs it to the line. Flat pass for Angus Crichton. They're 12 out. Quick play the ball. Watson to Teddy. Up for May. Terrell May steps back in field. Goes in under the post. Terrell May. The Roosters are back. The game is still on. Terrell May with a great solo effort. Right under the post. Terrell May. That is a huge try and a massive moment in this contest. The Roosters state the obvious. They needed that. 2 more converted tries is what they need, but they needed 1 to start with. Manu needs to step up. Keary needs to step up. Tedesco's trying valiantly, but they're all over him. And Terrell May, geez, I was talking in the pre-game about who's more likely to score a try when you're looking at the interchange bench, and I went with Terran Wishart, who's not had any game time yet, incidentally. Wishart, as Swelly, he converts from right in front, as you would expect, and it's 24 points to 12. It is still game on, and that was early enough. It was crucial that they were the next to score, obviously, and they also needed to do it early. And they have done just what they needed to do here in the second half. The Roosters. They're still here. They're still hanging around. 7.5 minutes into the second 40. Can they back it up? Storm get us back underway. Tupou takes it in his own end goal. And White runs it off the back fence. Tupou gets involved. May, the try scorer, takes the third hit up. Teddy Bear 676 says Melbourne. Melbourne are on top at the moment still, despite that try. Angus Crichton brings it outside the 40. Their own side of halfway, Roosters. Quick play the ball. Watson down the short side with Keary. For Swelly, he gets on the outside of Meaney. Beats him. He's brought down, though, by Sean Bloor in cover. 5th and last. 35 out from the try line. Keary puts it high. Contestable kick. Manu's racing through. It's lost forward by the Storm, and it sets up for Butcher, and Nat Butcher will score. Nat Butcher scores, and the Roosters have gone back-to-back. And they are back into this contest in a huge way. 24 points to 16, and the conversion to come. And it's Nat Butcher. It's the interchange players from the Roosters. Unbelievable. The turnaround in this second half. Can they keep it up, though, for the full 40? It's Pappenhausen who spills it. Oh, did Teddy get a touch on it? I mean, that's Sandon Smith. Heel fries, ahoy, mate. Sandon Smith, does he get a cheeky touch? No, he's nowhere near it. He's nowhere near it. You know how, like, you lop the heads off chickens? Yeah? You lop the head off, but the body still runs around for, like, minutes afterwards. That could be what we're seeing here. They had their head lopped off at half-time, but they've come out in the second half and they're still running around. Ten minutes gone in the second half, and it is about to be a converted try the difference, just like that. Unless Swalihi makes a massive, monumental error here, but he doesn't. Puts it straight through the middle. Terrell May and Nat Butcher. Number 16 and number 17 off the bench. Back-to-back tries to start this second half. Unbelievable. Colin Curram says should be played like this in the first half. Yeah, I mean, they did for the opening 10 minutes, didn't they? So let's see. The opening 10 minutes of the first half was all Roosters. The opening 10 of the second half has been all Roosters. Can they keep it up? While they've got this forward momentum, can they keep it up? Michael Russell, ahoy there, mate. Ahoy, Dan. Thanks, brother. Loving the call. Cheers, Michael Russell. Is this Johnsy? Says go Melbourne. The Roosters have gone back to back. They are not ready to be down and out in this game. Benny 2287 up the Rooster. Here's Tedesco, dummying, going straight through. Well brought down. We almost get a little bit of Teddy's ass crack. We got just the top of it. Now, numbers to the left. If they can get the ball out, Keary wraps around. Sends Tupou into space. Back in field for Swalihi. It is the fifth and last. They're 20 metres out from Melbourne's line. They're on a roll here, the Roosters. Keary on to Sandon Smith. Crossfield kick. Looking for Dom Young. Manu's up. Joey Manu's got it. Spills it. And Melbourne survive an almighty scare there as Joey Manu spills the ball. The Roosters have all the momentum. Sam Ipanda. Oh, Sam Impanda. Got there in the end, I think. Go Mighty Storms, says Sam Ipanda from PNG. Melbourne just holding on there. Joey Manu spilling it out the side. Gina Ferracini says, come on, Storm. And they are up to the halfway line. Munster caught with the ball. Fifth and last. Hughes will get the kick away. It's high. Very high. It's contestable. Tupou runs forward. Tap back by Melbourne. Tap back by the Roosters. 6 more tackles. And Katoa dummies. Feeds it off for King. And here we go. Here come the Storm. 10 out. Numbers to burn down the short side. Jerome Hughes goes on his own. And Jerome Hughes gets a hat-trick. It is the Dally M Awards show here for Jerome Hughes. Bags himself 3 tries. The big players in the big moments, in the big games, they step up and they make themselves known. And it has been Jerome Hughes' night. And he's lucky he scored it too, because he had 2 unmarked support runners on the outside. Mahala says, go Melbourne Storm. If Jerome Hughes does not score that try, he had 2 unmarked players outside him, and he would have been torn to shreds in the changing rooms after the game. Win, lose, well, there's no draw. Win or lose, you know Craig Bellamy was not happy about that. What a game at the moment, says Kyan Tangaroa. And I 100% agree. Somebody in the YouTube chat room, and this is absolutely no offense to that person that said it at all. It's just a difference of opinion. But somebody in the YouTube chat room earlier said that this is not really a game up to final standards. And I could not have disagreed any more with that. This has been a cracker of a game. Nick Meaney to put them back out to a 12-point lead, puts it right down the middle. Nick Meaney, what a kick. What a pressure cooker scenario. And he puts it over for Melbourne to lead 30 points to 18. Well, there's been a knock on by the Melbourne Storm that's been missed. Old McDonald has knocked it on into the hands of Eli Katoa. And that should have been a penalty to the Roosters. Well, Melbourne go on and get 6 points. A huge knock on from Old McDonald. And they get away with one there, the Storm. That one's been missed. Here's Wishart. Wishart's on. That's great news for my multi, which still needs Wishart and Coates. We still need it. A kick on tackle 4 from Jay Hughes. Tedesco races across field and takes it on the full. Brings it back to the 30. Wishart's there to meet him. And with help of Harry Grant, drives him backwards in the tackle. Tedesco staying down, looking for a penalty here for pressure on the neck. And, oh, geez. Well, the penalty is incoming. And that could be a little bit of a make-up call for the missed knock-on. That could be a little make-up penalty, I've got to say. Yes, it is 30 points to 18. Melbourne in the lead. Carey on halfway. Come on, score. Update. There we go. Not updating for some reason. Anyway, through the hands now. Go the Roosters. Tupou on the outside. Well brought down by Nick Meaney. Victor Radley in midfield. "20 metres out. Carey on play 3. Out the back to Tedesco. Fires the cutout ball to Tupou, who steps back in field. Melbourne scramble, and scramble well. Carey inside for Watson. Watson's met hard in that tackle. Fifth and last, 10 metres out. Carey to May. Numbers here, but the kick goes through, and Cameron Munster dives on it. He's wrapped up and tackled in the end goal, but they get a penalty here, Melbourne, for dragging him back into the end goal. Well, I think that's a little bit garbage. The referee had called held, although I'm not quite sure why. I'm not sure why the call of held went in. But it is what it is, I suppose. All right, for some reason this score is not updating. And it would appear there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Well, that was another rough call that's gone against the Roosters. And Melbourne, they dodge another bullet. You've got to say, based on that, Munster goes up the middle. Melbourne, can they take advantage of this situation? Fifth and last. Hughes puts the kick up the middle. Dominic Young, the big giraffe, gets up above everybody, takes it, fires the ball out for Swalihi, who beats one. Risky pass. Very risky play. But they get away with it here. The score is... how do I... Oh, reset. Oops. Well, I didn't mean to do that. I clearly didn't mean to do that. Dominic Young got there above everybody else to win the ball in the air. I've made a complete mess of the scoreboard on TikTok. That's hilarious. Fifth and last here for the Roosters. The kick is in. Taken by Pappenhausen at the back. We'll fix that up as best we can. But I can tell you it's 30 points to 18 in favour of the Storm. I've made a complete mess of the scoreboard. And I'll try and get that fixed up on the fly and call the game at the same time as Will Warbrick has come up with the error at the play the ball. They will captain's challenge this, the Storm. And that's good. It gives me a chance to do something about this scoreboard. Captain's challenge, the call of knock on. I think it's a clear knock on. So, ahoy there. How are you? All right, there we go. There we go. I've got the scoreboard back. Doing very good, sir. How's the audio? All good? Is it too loud, too soft? Is it not crisp? There we go. Fix the scoreboard. 60 minutes gone in this one. 30 points to 18. Carey out the back to Teddy. Teddy runs to the line. Spills the ball. On tackle 2. James Tedesco has dropped the ball. And Melbourne are back in possession. Teddy just over-involved himself there. I've got to say, James Tedesco over-involved himself in that little passage. Tried to do too much. And Melbourne are back in possession. In fairness, Flurry, if you're referring to me fixing that, in fairness, doing technical PC issues is not exactly an easy thing to do. And call. Oh, big ass crack is out! Jack Howarth with the full moon. And I got way too excited about it, by the way. In fairness to myself, sorting out a screen and calling a game on a TV that's in a completely different direction to the screen that you're trying to sort out is a difficult task for any of the 100 genders that are available in 2024, in fairness. I'm not saying your statement is wrong in any way, because I'm terrible at it. I'm defending myself in this particular scenario. Roosters back in possession. 30 points to 18. 20 minutes to go. Certainly not out of the game. But it is starting to become a long way back now for the Roosters. Carey, cut out pass for Crichton. They're going to run it on the 5th and last. No look, flick out the back from Tedesco, and it's lost forward. And the Roosters are self-destructing here. They are playing panic catch-up footy. There's so much time left in this game. They don't need to be doing stuff like that. Running it on the 5th and last. No look, flicks out the back from Teddy. Hey, Gamer Mel has just joined over on TikTok. I saw your name pop up. Gamer Mel, welcome along. Munster with the inside ball to Howarth. And the Roosters have well and truly hit the panic button. Here's Hughes running a nice angle back in field. He's already got 3 tries, Jerome Hughes. He wants another. Grant inside for Pappenhausen. And Pappenhausen with the match winner. And his double. 2 for Pappenhausen. And that is surely game, set and match for the Melbourne Storm into another grand final. You've got to give credit where credit is due. This Melbourne Storm team, they continue to lose players, but Craig Bellamy just continues to get them up for each and every season, and they are into another grand final, because that will surely be the game. Surely that's a bridge too far now for the Roosters. 34 points to 18 with the kick to come. And the difference between the two teams tonight, you would have to say, Jerome Hughes has stepped up. Cameron Munster has stepped up. Pappenhausen has well and truly stepped up. On the opposite side of the field, Tedesco has overplayed his hand. Joey Manu has been completely absent. Luke Keary has had a dead set shocker. The big names for the Storm have stepped up to another gear. The Roosters have not gone with them. Is this Johnsy says, will you do this on the grand final? I do this each and every... We're very new to TikTok. Is this Johnsy? Very new to TikTok. But yes, we do. We do all the NRL. We do a lot of the rugby union as Nick Meaney converts from just to the left of the post. 36 points to 18. We cover some UFC. We cover some pro wrestling. Just for a laugh. Wasted World of Sports. Live on YouTube. Live on Facebook. Live on TikTok now. Just having drinks, hanging out, covering sports and sports entertainment. Why not? We'll also be doing the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight as well, incidentally. That's going to be so fun. Roosters go short with the restart. They do need to panic now. They've put themselves into this situation where they need to panic. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. Your best friend Jasmine says ahoy. Ahoy, Jasmine. I like the name Jasmine, by the way. Very nice name. Cheers. Josh King up towards halfway. Go the Storm. Grant finds some space around dummy half. Melbourne really starting to click into another gear now. Wishart inside the 40. Tegan, ahoy there. Welcome along. Hughes puts the kick up. Contestable. Oh, Will Warbrick flying through the air at nothing there. Roosters, 14 minutes remain. 3 converted tries. It feels like that second half, it really followed the trend of the first half. Game in with James, ahoy. I'll tell you what, I saw that, it's Keary now. Through the hands, Tedesco gets the arms free, offloads to Tupou in space. Throws it back in field and nobody in Melbourne dive on it. And it's been lost forward. Melbourne first, double knock on, Roosters ball. The panic button has well and truly been hit. Now, what was I on about? Christ, I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, yes, that's right. Gaming with James. I was going to say, I was very excited to see that there's a remastered version of Dead Rising that's been released. So excited. I will definitely be playing some remastered Dead Rising on my gaming channel. 13 minutes remain. Here come the Roosters. 30 out from the line. Sandon Smith. 2. Manu. Back to Tedesco. Tedesco's wrapped up in midfield. Tackle 3. 20 out. Keary out on the left. In behind to Manu, who bumps off one. Defensive line holds firm for the Storm. Spencer Leniu straight up the middle. Some good go forward. Tackle 4. Connor Watson from dummy half, looking for the 6 again. Doesn't get the call. That's the 5th and last. Manu into dummy half, out to Keary on the left. Kicks it up, looking for Tupou. Tupou's up above Warbrick. It's knocked on. 6 again for the... Oh, knocked on for Melbourne. Keary frantically waving the arms for the scrum. And they'll put the scrum down in midfield. Good chance for me to have a cheeky break. Right, scrum down. Dominic Young is tackled on this near touchline. Here's Manu. Inside ball for Big Jared. The Roosters have to score now to be any chance. I know that is state the obvious time, but Manu to Keary. Keary runs across field, throws the pass to nobody. Keary's had a dead set shocker, I'm afraid. Keary has... Oh, it's been knocked on by Tupou. The knock-on call comes in, and that was Keary's pass. Luke Keary, they're going to captain's challenge here. Honestly, Luke Keary, you hate to call time on a player's career, but Keary has just been found wanting tonight, completely off the pace. And you hate being negative towards a particular player because, yes, is he better than me? Of course he is. And that's always people who defend a certain player, right? It's like, well, he's better than you. Yeah. Of course he's better than me. But he has not been up to NRL standard tonight, I'm afraid. It's going to be a successful challenge, is it? It's going to be a successful challenge. The Roosters will keep the ball. Ike the Sir says something tells me Slater is biased towards Melbourne. Geez, I wonder why that could possibly be, right? I can't hear the TV commentators, so I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case. Keary inside the 20, now to Swilly. He puts the step on. Starting to get inside the last 10 minutes now. 5th and last. They're going to run it. Here's Victor Radley. Out the back to Smith. Sandon Smith cuts back in field. Offloads back for Radley. Radley throws it across the face of the post to Connor Watson, where it's been tapped down by the Melbourne Storm. A knock-on has been called. And it'll be a scrum down for the Roosters. Melbourne continue to hold on. And Flurry, if Flurry and anybody else who might be interested in sussing out my gaming channel on YouTube, it is called Intoxigamer. Surprise, surprise, another drinking-themed channel. There's nothing on there at the moment. I pulled down all the old videos because I'm looking to make a complete restart when it comes back in the off-season. Scrum down, Roosters ball. Manu throws it out the back, no looker. And that's been knocked on. Are they going to challenge it again? They kind of have to, don't they? The no-look pass again. They're not going to challenge this one. They have accepted their fate. And poor Trent, who'd want to be a coach, right? Poor Trent Robinson up there in the coach's box. Oh, he can't believe it. He's saying challenge it. Surely they have to challenge it at that point. Melbourne have just been gifted possession back. 10 minutes to go, and you would say that time well and truly running away from the Roosters now. Josh King stays down, looking for the penalty. Gaming with James asks if I play GTA. I have done some GTA. Yes. Just a head clash. All good, play on. Here's Wishart. 9 minutes remaining. Katoa. They don't have to do anything silly here, Melbourne. They've just got to get through the sets. Munster takes the fifth and last, just short of the halfway line. Hughes puts the kick in. Taken on the full at the back, Tupou. Can the Roosters manufacture something? Oh, they're driven backwards in a four-man tackle by the Storm. That's not a good start to the set. Flurry says the only game I play is don't get banned from YouTube this week. Why? What do you do, Flurry? Do you post controversial videos, do you? I happen to like controversial videos. Here's Big Jared winding up. It's funny, I follow Russell Brand's channel, and certain things he oh no, loose offload out the back from the Roosters as Angus Crichton tries to push the pass, and Melbourne dive on the loose ball, and this catch-up panic footy is not working for the Roosters at all. It's not working out for them in the slightest bit. And Melbourne, certainly, they've definitely got more than a foot in the grand final. The second preliminary tomorrow night here on the channel. Sharks versus the Panthers. I would be expecting a slightly similar scoreline. Jim Condon with the $20 super chat. Cheers, Jim. Very much appreciate that, mate. The kick goes through. Tupou loses it forward. And Angus Crichton's offside. Knock on by the Roosters. To Jim Condon with the $20 super chat. Cheers, mate. Roosters with the captain's challenge. I don't know why they're challenging this. It was a pretty clear knock on, I thought. Yeah, Rumble. Yes, Flurry. Yes. Yeah, I don't have Rumble yet. But I watch all the Russell Brand videos, and he always hints towards talking about a certain subject. And he's like, you can get my actual opinions on this on Rumble. I love it. I mean, it just goes to show the censorship on YouTube, right? The censorship that exists when you've got a creator like Russell Brand who is like, here's my video, but if you want to find out what I really think, check me out on Rumble. Check me out on this other platform where there's no restrictions. But anyway, I digress. 6 minutes to go. Roosters in possession. And Melbourne come up with the ball. It's a loose carry. And Melbourne are back in possession of the footy. Zero tackle inside the 20. Munster onto Welsh. They're looking to put more hurt on the Roosters, who have been valiant in defeat for the most part. But at the end of the day, just simply not good enough. The Roosters' big players, in fairness, have not stepped up, whereas the Melbourne Storm big players have. Munster dummies and goes through. Speaking of the big players, Munster dummies and goes through to score under the post. And if it wasn't already over, It certainly is now. The money man, Cameron Munster, puts a big exclamation mark on this game, and Craig Bellamy can't even crack a smile. It's 40 points to 18. The kick to come from right beside the post. If it wasn't already over, it certainly is now. Cameron Munster sells the dummy and goes straight through. What a big victory this is for Melbourne. Gino Ferracini says this is how they do it. Storm. Bellamy's the best. Munster magic. Welcome back. Is this Johnsy? Oh. The kick to come from right beside the post. Five minutes remaining, and Melbourne marching forward into another grand final. And Harry Grant has taken over the kicking duties. He pops this one over from right in front. Big Jared there got sold the dummy. Melbourne Storm into another grand final. It's very fitting, honestly. Storm versus Panthers likely to be the grand final, unless the Sharks pull off an absolute miracle. Short kickoff. Roosters tap it back, but Christian Welsh was there waiting for it. And Melbourne are just seeing this game out perfectly. The end of the road in season 2024 for the Sydney Roosters. Melbourne can sit back, crack open a few beers, and they can watch tomorrow night's game, and they'll be hoping that both teams just belt the living hell out of each other. Munster goes on another step and runs straight up the middle. Munster needed support. Fifth and last, they're going to take a drop goal. It's been charged down and it sits up for Carey, who offloads now for Crichton. Back for May. May dances around in midfield and Nelson lines him up. Grabs hold of him. 3 minutes to go. Loose pass there. Swelly, he had to reach out for it. Does well. Oh, it's all right. Marvin the Martian, 32. Needed Warbrick. I needed Coates and Wishart. I got Tupou. How did Warbrick not score when the Stormers scored 42 points? Because they really have not attacked down Warbrick's edge at all. I can't think of a single time tonight that they went Warbrick's edge. They've been going up the middle. To Dominic Young now. Chips over the top. It sits up at the back for Coates. Now Coates breaks away upfield. Bumps off one. Bumps off another. And he's wrapped up just shy of the halfway line. Howarth runs across field and backwards now. He's lined up by Swelly. He bumps off him though. A lot of tired defenders here from the Roosters. Wishart steps his way through the middle. There's gaps opening up everywhere here in the Roosters' defense. Tackle for 30 out from the Roosters line. Again they go. Grant onto Welsh. Welsh offloads back for Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen dummies. He's brought down fifth and last. A minute to go. They're 20 out. They stay on the short side. Grant to Wishart, who kicks in, looking for Warbrick. It's loose out the back. 6 more tackles. They will get the last say. Melbourne. Harry Grant has tackled on that far touchline. 9 metres out from the line. Wishart now onto Munster in midfield. Inside ball for King. King heads back towards the sideline. 10 out from the line here on play 2. Grant goes quick. Links up with Munster. Munster gets a double. Munster gets a double. Well, the big names in the big moments in the big games. Jerome Hughes has got a triple. Cameron Munster's now got a double. It's 46 points to 18. It's been an absolute shellacking here. In the end, it has turned into an absolute massacre. Cameron Munster at the back end of the match. Incredible. 46 points to 18 with the conversion attempt to come from right in front. Oh, Gamer Mel's tapping out early, even when her team's winning so comprehensively. Catch later, Gamer Mel. Don't forget to keep an eye out for that Intoxigamer return. That I've been talking about for about 12 months. $46 points to 18. Geez, they were given overs and unders 44, I think it was. 44 points, overs, unders. I'm pretty certain that they gave this game. Wishart converts. And Melbourne are through to the grand final comprehensively. Disappointing, really, in terms of just how far apart competition's been this year. All year, it's been Melbourne and Penrith. Then 30 points worth of daylight. Look, I think that Melbourne versus the Panthers is a very deserving grand final for 2024. Very deserving. They have been clearly the 2 best teams. But I'm disappointed in just that this game was a blowout, I guess. I didn't have a dog in the fight. So I didn't care who won, who lost. But the fact that it was a 30-point massacre is what's alarming for me. This was number 1 versus number 3, supposedly. Minor premiers versus 3rd. If there is a 30-point difference between 1st and 3rd, the NRL is in a world of trouble, is all I'm suggesting. We certainly could have hoped for a much better game. How many... It's all right. Michelle really hates the Storm. Michelle said, yeah, but how many of the Roosters got out? 2. 2 players with very capable replacements. Look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Sam Walker was a huge out. Brandon Smith was more than ably replaced by Connor Watson. As a matter of fact, it's a little bit of an upgrade. No offense to the Cheese. But yeah, Michelle really, really just completely dislikes the Storm. Powder Skier says, how the hell is the Storm under the salary cap? Well, I mean, look, Pappenhausen's on unders. We know that for a fact. Warbrick is a rugby union convert who just happened to excel. Like, I think it's fair to say Will Warbrick has been way, way better than anybody could have anticipated. So they've got him at a bargain. Jack Howarth cannot be on more than 300,000. Nick Meaney came over from the Bulldogs looking for game time. Nick Meaney's probably only on 300 or 400. Cameron Munster's obviously on a big pay packet, and Jerome Hughes, Nelson, Harry Grant, Josh King, Sean Bloor, Eli Katoa, Trent the Arrow. These players are not on huge pay packets. You know, like Craig Bellamy just has a way of getting the most out of players who are not big names on paper. Yeah, the absolute last thing in the world that I'm considering is the Storm to be over the salary cap with the names that they've got. Now they might start to run into issues in a year or two when some of these contracts start coming up for expiry. Will Warbrick is obviously going to get an upgrade. Players like Sean Bloor left the I'm pretty sure Sean Bloor came over from the Tigers. Like they picked him up at a bargain price. Now a lot of them will deserve upgrades in the contract, but yeah, I don't think Howard's on 500. That surprises me, honestly. That does surprise me, Howarth on 500. But yeah, I don't think this current Storm squad is even close to the salary cap. I reckon that they've even got a little war chest available to recruit if they wanted to. I don't think there's anything at all suspicious about the Storm's current roster. Anyway, people will hate on the Melbourne Storm regardless, I suppose. Geez, I mean, I used to. I used to as well. Back in the day. Powder says Storm has so much gap in their cap, they might even buy a few more superstars to add to their megastars. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like, their megastars... Okay, let's honestly, let's run through the team. Okay, Pappenhausen would be on big money. Munster would be on big money. Hughes would be up there. Harry Grant would be up there. And Nelson. Those players would be taking up a majority of the cap. Go through the rest of the team. Everybody else would be on unders, but Craig Bellamy has just got the best out of the players available. I think it's fair to say. But anyway, wow, 48 points to 18. An absolute shellacking here. Melbourne march into another grand final. Is Kiri retiring, by the way? Because honestly, like, I hate to be so negative towards any one particular player, but I think he showed tonight that he's really not up to it. He's really not up for it anymore, Luke Keary. Oh, he's crying. He's in tears. I'm gathering that this was his last game. The man, the myth, the legend. Look at the sensitive sooks in the chat. Melbourne too good. I do find it funny, like, I don't go for the Melbourne Storm at all, but yeah, I don't understand. I just ran through all the players and guessed. I don't know. I don't pretend to know. I just guessed at what their salaries might be, and I'm struggling to see how anyone could think this current Melbourne Storm team is over the cap. I don't understand how anyone could think that. They have got some really good players, but their good players are players who have gone above them above themselves. Craig Bellamy just gets the best out of players who are, nobody, quote, nobodies on paper. Nick Meaney left the Bulldogs. Nick Meaney left the Bulldogs, and he was just... Nick Meaney was an afterthought. He was a utility player, an afterthought. He comes to the Melbourne Storm. Craig Bellamy has made a superstar out of Nick Meaney. Now, you can't tell me that Nick Meaney's on any more than 500k. I would find that very hard to believe. Like, they picked him up at a bargain price. Now, when his contract comes up for renewal, he will obviously be in line for an upgrade. Yeah, I just think Melbourne have got a lot of players at bargain prices from other clubs that Craig Bellamy has got the most out of. It's as simple as that. At the end of the day, Craig Bellamy is a great club coach. Notice I say club coach, because we've seen Craig Bellamy at representative level, and it didn't work out too well, did it? Craig Bellamy is an insanely talented club coach who gets the best out of the roster that he has available to him. Yeah, it's pretty much as simple as that. See, Josh King. Josh King's on 200k. What a bargain. What a pickup. Josh King is a 200k signing that is playing at like 800k level. And that's what I mean. Yeah, there's no way they're over the cap. Not a chance. Just because a coach gets players playing well doesn't immediately mean that there's backdoor deals going on, that they're paid a lot of money. Look at the Sharks as well. My team, the Sharks. Braden Trindle's on 300k. Braden Trindle is carrying that Sharks team at the moment. Nico Hines is the $1 million player who's not done diddly squat. Braden Trindle's on 300k. You would watch Braden Trindle at the moment and go, what a superstar. That guy's surely on 800 or 900k. He's not. He's on 300. They do lose players, though, Powder, is the thing. I mean, one of the players that they lost, Brandon Smith, would have been playing for the Roosters tonight if he wasn't injured. But yes, the wrestling does suck. The wrestling was a big problem. But in fairness, Craig Bellamy was just doing what a good coach would do and took advantage of a grey area in the rules. They've now made the rules a lot clearer because of that. $48 points to 18. Oh, excuse me. 48 points to 18. Melbourne into another grand final. I'm not going to discuss the salary cap all night. I don't think it makes the players greedy at all. I don't think anyone's suggesting that. If you choose to leave a club for more money, like Jerome Luai has chosen to leave the club for more money at the Tigers, like Stephen Crichton chose to leave for more money at the Bulldogs, Matt Burton chose to leave for more game time and more money at the Bulldogs. I don't think that's greed, but if you decide to stay at a club on less because you enjoy playing there, because you think you're a chance of winning a premiership, I don't think that's necessarily anything shady at all. All right, Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much for joining me here for this one. We will be back now. I'm going to try my best to be up tomorrow morning for the Betfred Super League finals that kick off. It's around about 4:30 my time. It's 10 o'clock at night at the moment, my time. So what have we got? I have to count on my fingers because I'm a stupid idiot. 11. Oh, wow. Flurry, the auto. Okay, I'm starting to see what Flurry's on about now with YouTube's onto her. It did not. It got auto-moderated, Flurry. I just had to manually approve that comment. It popped up on my screen and was like, auto-moderated. I'm assuming the use of the word twat, which I can apparently say without any form of censorship, but you can't post it in the chat room. Apparently. Yeah, I had to manually approve that comment. So there you go. Yes, I completely believe. I mean, not that I ever doubted her, but I now completely see Flurry is on this knife's edge about, okay, well, apparently it wasn't the word twat. What did you post then? All she said was Cleary never plays a full season. Overrated twat. AJWR just says twat. And that's it. No censorship at all there. Oh, who knows? Who knows? Honestly. It's the same as a streamer as well. I can tell you that if you use a curse word in the first 5 minutes of a video, the video gets demonetized. If you just let loose with a barrage of curse words 5 minutes and 1 second into the video, you're all fine. Somebody please explain to me how that makes sense. Anyway, they're on to you, Flurry. They're on to you big time. All right, so for people who have Discord, that's... no, it wasn't James. It was the automated one, Michelle. It was an automated one. You can't blame James for that one. Like, it tells me if somebody else has done it. That was just the automatic. For some reason, it picked her up. Picked her up. It's on to you, Flurry. All right, so for those who have Discord and know how to figure out Discord, we'll jump in the chat over there. Keep this night going on for a little bit. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm going to try and do the Betfred Super League in the morning. I haven't sort of done a stream set up for it or anything yet because I don't know if I'll be up and about. But if I am, I'll be covering it. Definitely going to be doing the Bledisloe Cup tomorrow because it's my beloved All Blacks back in action. So I'll definitely be covering that. No, it wasn't. That's what I'm... Flurry, I'm saying it wasn't James. It wasn't James. It was automatically detected. And of course, tomorrow night, Sharks versus Panthers in the second preliminary final. That was not just me trying to figure out how cans work, by the way. All right, so yes, for people on Discord that can figure Discord out, Wasted World of Sports, I'll hang out there for a little bit. Otherwise, we'll catch you tomorrow. Yes, thank you so much. And I'll catch you when I catch you. Very much appreciate your company for this one, and we will see you next time. Until then, cheers. Oh, it just said there on the TV, Danica Mason, WWOS reporter. And I had to think for a second, hang on, WWOS reporter? I haven't hired Danica Mason. Obviously, it means Wide World of Sports, not Wasted World of Sports. Okay, Discord for those who have it. I'll catch you over there. Right. Cheers. I'm out of things to say.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and take pass last from the kickoff to the final whistle blow. We'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With a laugh and a cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a roll, from sideline jokes to post-match tales. All big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join us, sporting crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, the wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer.